And Viv,
hard.
you're extra Texas tough to be able to sit through that speech. Oh my, I could not do that. So
Well, you owe me one.
yeah, I do owe you one. Here. Welcome to Texas Tough Chicks. I'm Gwen, and this is Viv, and we're glad to have you back. If you're coming back for your poison, and if it's your first time, welcome.
Well, what I wanted to talk about today was the recent speech by Joe Biden, who is the president of the United States, whether we like it or not. And when I watched it, I didn't watch it live. First, I'll tell you that I couldn't watch it live. I didn't want to get him the Nielsen rating or whatever for watching it live. So I watched
Hmm.
it later on YouTube. And at the time I watched it, I was angry and
Hmm.
upset. And while I was watching it, I think most of the time I was screaming liar at the computer screen because that's all
Right.
he was doing. He was lying, but he
Yeah.
was very,
He's
very
good at it.
predictable.
He's
Yes,
good at
he
it.
is.
He's good at that lying.
He is. But he's very predictable too, because what he did was he set himself up at Valley Forge like he's comparing himself to Washington or something. He never said, but some of do you remember when he did that thing in front of the building where it was all red and he had the two
Oh my
Marines
gosh,
standing back there?
yes.
It's
That
like
was
he's standing at the
horrid.
gates of hell or
Yeah,
something. I
yeah.
don't know.
Well,
But
he probably was.
he probably was. He
Yeah.
probably will be. But
Hmm.
anyway, this one, he's at Valley Forge and talking about the winter, that they went through and how they're patriots and they love this country and all this stuff. So the whole purpose of this was to actually go after the January 6th people, the whole
Of
thing that happened on January 6th.
course.
And some takeaways. I just talk about a few takeaways from this.
Mhm.
Number one, he was referring to the violence of that day
Oh my
and how
gosh. Are you
since that
kidding me?
time, oh no, and how since that time, 1,200 people have been charged or arrested or whatever, and 900 of those people have pled guilty, and 840 there would be 840 years of prison time among those 900.
Mm.
And what I thought immediately was these people are Americans who
Yeah.
did nothing other than to exercise their constitutional right of free speech to go and make their voices
Hmm.
heard.
Hmm.
Yes, there was some screwy stuff that happened that day, and I'm sorry. I think the video proves that a lot of that stuff was not Republicans,
Right.
not Trump
Planted.
supporters. It was planted, and
Yeah. We
they
already
still
know
have
that.
not. Yeah, they have not released all the footage that shows the police letting them in and all the other stuff that was going on.
Mhm.
But for him to then stand there and say, I mean, after he just torched all of these people and the MAGA Republicans, who are so
Right.
evil, and Trump is Hitler and all the usual stuff that I expected, he turned around and said, but hey, I represent all
Oh,
Americans.
oh, you've
And
got
I
to be
went,
kidding me. You've got to
so
be
you
kidding me.
just said half the country are insurrectionists, deserve to be in prison or
Oh my
worse, and
gosh.
yet you care about these people. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
that just made me want to vomit.
Oh,
I've
wow.
never heard Trump ever say anything about people who voted against him being put in prison.
Right. No, that's what Putin does. That's what Putin
Exactly.
does.
Exactly. Exactly. And then he went on to say the usual stuff about Trump has said he would be a dictator from day one.
Mm.
And he again comparing him to a Nazi. And the funny thing is, during the whole speech, he was like Mister, blah 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 blah. Word salad a few times, just the usual Biden, except for when he started talking about political violence on the right, and then he gets all ramped up, and he does his
Oh,
little devil
brother.
face.
I gotta stop you because
Okay.
first of all, I just figured out someone that I want for my Texas Tough Awards for 2024, and that would be you. Because there's no way I could have sat through that. I knew I couldn't. I knew I couldn't. And you took one for the team and you sat
Yep.
through that. I don't even know. See, I would be a mental case after watching that. And I'm just so impressed that You were able to get through that and listen to that BS. And, you know, this regime, it's a regime, is
Mhm.
just
It
like,
is.
it's like crazy land to me.
Okay,
Crazy.
here's if you understand history, which I'm a huge history buff,
Mhm.
this playbook they're running is exactly what the Nazis ran
Mhm.
during World War II.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
painted the Jews, which was
exactly.
part of the population, as being totally, totally worth murdering. And this
Right.
is what they are doing. They are saying that if you vote on the other side from them, if you are not a Democrat, that you deserve to be in prison or
Right.
die.
Or if you just question the vote,
Yes,
if you're just questioning the
yes,
vote, and let's just
yes.
be real here, that White House is the people's house.
Ray Epps, Ray Epps.
Ray Epps, yes,
Yep, yep,
that man should be in
yep,
prison.
yep,
That man. But
yep.
surprise, surprise, he's not.
Right. Well, neither are
How
all
is that possible? Yeah.
neither are any of the Antifa
Right.
types that were
Right. The ones
there
that were
that,
breaking the windows. Oh,
oh, I could tell you four other instances where somebody or a group of people went to the Capitol and did far worse things. There was one Weather Underground that went there and they left a bomb in the Senate that's did
mm-hmm.
$250,000 worth of damage in the 1970s, or I think it
Right.
was. Well, who was a great inspiration to Barack Obama?
Right. Exactly.
Mr. Bill Ayers, Weather Underground.
Yep.
So you look at history, and I'm
Yep.
going, no, 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 no. Oh, one other thing that really bugged me about his speech at the very end, he said, God bless you all, and may God protect our troops, but not say God bless America. He did not at the end of that
What
speech.
is wrong with this man? What I mean, okay, no, loaded question. Loaded question. We all know he's demented. Okay, no. He hates America.
Hmm.
He's lived off American taxpayers.
Oh yeah,
I
all
mean,
his career. I mean, he's never done
he's
anything
put
else.
these people in prison for political reasons. I'm sorry, they had no
Yep.
problem. I had family living in the Seattle area, and they literally took over a block of that city, barricaded it off, tried to torch policemen inside a police
Federal
building,
building. Hmm.
blocked
Hmm.
them in, tried to kill them. There was
Yep.
deaths that happened, there was
Yep.
rapes that happened,
Yep.
and
Yep.
not a thing until they went to the front yard of the mayor of Seattle. And
Hmm.
then all of a sudden, instead of her thinking it was the summer of love, all of
Right.
a sudden that next day,
Mhm.
all the barricades came down and they flushed them all out. And I'm
Yep.
sorry, they have no problem with that. No problem with
Nope.
that. But it's
Nope.
always like it's the same idea, not in my backyard. You know
Right.
what? Our congressmen and our senators are so entitled that they think that they're untouchable.
Hmm.
Oh, how dare you come into our White House,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
our Congress building or anything, how dare you come against us because we're all powerful. No, you
Hmm.
represent us.
Yep.
You represent us. You are
Yep.
represented. You
Yep.
are you are paid by us to
Right.
work for us.
Right. And you're
If we
supposed to be
decide you're not going to be there anymore, and I don't mean violently, because
no.
we're more civilized than that. But if
Right.
we decide we can vote your ass out of there and you're gone,
Right. Right.
that's how
Right.
important you are.
Back. No, it's all true. It's
This is
all
why I can't
true.
even watch that stuff. See?
Well, a couple other points to he said. This one just cut me to the quick. He said we have never lived up to the idea that all men are created equal. Never in our history of our country have we ever lived up to that idea.
We just happen to be the only country that does live by that.
Yeah,
We're the
yeah,
only
yep,
country.
yep, yep.
Oh God.
And he
Oh
also said
man.
you can't love your country
Oh
only if you win. Well, I
oh
think a
my
lot of us
God.
who didn't win
He
the
hates
last
our
election,
country.
yeah, he does. But those of us who didn't win are the ones who love this country.
Exactly. Exactly. And still love it, even though we have the Looney Tunes in the White House right now.
Oh yeah, yeah,
We still love our country. We're
yep,
fighting for our country too. So
no,
we have to just be outsmart them, which
right,
shouldn't be that difficult, really, if you think about
no, no. But when you've got them bastardizing the laws
it. Oh,
to
right. Yeah.
do
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
they're doing. Okay, like the people right now, there's still people in the Washington Gulag that were arrested after January 6th who've never been allowed to have a lawyer present. They can't talk to their families. Another thing was when that man was going on about how Trump was a threat to our democracy.
Oh, brother.
That's where I started going, that's something
Mhm.
else. People, we've got to really start taking control of
Yes.
words.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I really wish that people would stop calling them the Democratic Party. They
Yes.
are not.
Right.
They're the
Exactly.
Democrat.
Exactly.
We are the
Yep.
Republicans because
They're
we represent,
Democrats.
yes, they're Democrats. They're not
Right.
Democratic. But
Right.
even at that, this is something I learned today on a broadcast, was the founding fathers actually hated democracies.
Oh,
They did not want this country to be a democracy because
okay.
at the time of the founding, democracies were comparable to monarchies.
Right.
And I thought it really kind of made me want to dig in and find out what is the definition of a
Hmm.
democracy versus a republic. And
Right.
so bear with me, I'm going to read a little
Oh,
bit here.
do it. Do it.
In both the republic and a democracy, citizens are empowered to participate in a representational political system. They elect people to represent and protect their investment in how the government functions. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
In a pure democracy, laws are made directly by the voting majority, leaving the rights of the minority largely unprotected. So an example of that would be, okay, we've got 5 wolves and 2 sheep. Majority in a pure democracy, majority rules. Okay, we're going to vote on eating the sheep or not eating the sheep.
Right.
5 wolves are going to vote for it. The 2 sheep are dead.
Exactly.
That's the way a pure democracy works.
Exactly.
A republic with a constitution prohibits government from limiting or taking away certain inalienable rights, even if that government was chosen by a majority. So, this is in a pure democracy, the voting majority has almost limitless power over the minority. So, do you
Hmm.
want to live in a democracy or do you want to live in a republic?
Biden knows that what he's saying is wrong. He knows we're
Yes, he
not a
does.
democracy. He's old enough to know that. But
Yeah.
what he's relying on is that our young people are so stupid, they're going to believe we're a democracy because they don't even know what it is. So it's so, the left has to rely on the stupidity of the population so they can control them.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah.
I respect the the office of presidency, and
I do
I
too.
don't think there should be any violence against him or
Nope. No,
the
nope.
executive branch or any of the branches. I respect it. I'm sad right now for
Yeah,
America.
me
I'm
too.
really sad, and I'm terrified that if we don't turn this around, that we won't be America anymore. This, and then you have a president who capitalizes on something he knows wasn't an insurrection. If it was an insurrection, that was the worst insurrection on the history of the world because no
Right.
one brought weapons. I mean,
Mhm.
an insurrection is a violent
Right.
riot against authority. It's a
Right.
violent
Right.
means you come in with sticks, you come in with weapons, you come in with
Right.
knives, you come in with guns,
Right.
and that wasn't there. Sorry.
Oh, well, there was violence. There was a woman that was killed. She
Yeah.
was murdered by a
Yep.
Capitol Police,
That's right.
somebody. Her name was Ashley Babbitt. She was
Yep.
murdered.
Yep. I mean, I've
Yeah.
seen that footage. She's not a threat. She's not
No.
even remotely a threat. He just wanted to shoot. He just wanted to
Right.
shoot.
Right.
It's
Right.
all about like not in my backyard. Oh no, don't
Right.
you dare stand up to our authority.
I guess Trump asked Nancy Pelosi at least twice, maybe 3 times, if she wanted National Guard to be deployed
Oh
that
yeah,
day,
right.
and she said no, no, no. And the
Yeah, she knew.
Washington mayor said no, no, we don't need them.
She knew. They knew.
They
They wanted this
It
to
was a
happen. That's why they
setup.
put Ray Epps
Yeah.
in there.
Well, there's so much that was covered in that speech, but to me, it was the same old, same old. It was
Hmm.
Trump bashing.
Hmm.
It was
Yeah,
bashing the MAGA Republicans. And I
right.
want to go, I don't think he even knows what MAGA means. Well, one other point, and I think it was about that same time when they did have all the fencing up around the Capitol, and they had National Guard out there with their guns. And my oldest son said, "Look at that picture. Where are those guns pointed?" At we the people.
Mm.
2024 is going to be a
Right?
roller coaster ride, boys and girls, and you better get Texas tough because it's
Right?
going to
Right.
hard.
And Viv,
hard.
you're extra Texas tough to be able to sit through that speech. Oh my, I could not do that. So
Well, you owe me one.
yeah, I do owe you
Yeah,
one. We need to be Texas tough. Everyone
Yep.
needs to get Texas tough, and we need to start educating all these people about
Right,
democracy.
right. Yeah, we are a republic. We are not a democracy.
Yep.
So
And they're changing the definition in our books. So we better make sure
stand
all
up,
of our young
stand up.
people know.
Yep.
All
Yeah,
right.
we sure should.
Well, I guess we'll
All
see you
right.
next time.
All right. Take care. And it just kind of felt like he was trying to say that the Democrat Party or the
Okay,
Patriots.
sorry. Just had to throw up a little bit.
That's okay. That's okay. I
I'm
kind
throwing
of
up
do.
in my throat already, but
Oh,
anyway.
I know. I know.